Schultz.
Here.
Marport.
Here.
Cook.
Here.
Oppenheim.
Here.
Takaoka.
Here.
We have a quorum present. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Any citizens wish to address the board? I don't see any. New business communication, consideration of interim finance director position. Do we have to, any handouts on this? It's in here somewhere? Just this? Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
It's a draft ordinance, as well as a copy of the agreement that has been approved in both form and substance by Lauterbach and Amen and by the village, subject to your approval.
And this gentleman is,
This gentleman is Ron Amon, one of the principals of Lauterbach.
yeah, you
and
want
Amon.
to come up and identify yourself.
Good evening. I'm Ron Amon, one of the founding partners of Lauterbach and Amon.
Okay. And you've done our audits before, but not, you haven't done them now in what, 2 to 3 years?
2 years,
Okay.
correct. And we did 14 in a row prior to that.
Yeah, so hopefully you have some grasp of our financial.
That is correct.
All right, well, we got to take a vote on this?
Sure, I didn't know if you want to discuss this any further.
It's up to you guys. I don't, from what I understand, you're going to be with us 6 months, and then everybody knows about Larry Nakrin
That's what I was
coming
gonna say.
back for a couple of days a week. And go ahead, Mark, you can.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say. Obviously, with the departure of Nikki Larson, we have to make some arrangements for the treasurer, the finance director position. We're going to bring Larry Nakrin back for 1 to 2 days a week. Larry doesn't particularly want to work more than that, and I don't think his wife wants him to work any more than that. But Larry has a very good handle on the day-to-day operations of the village, how the finance department operates, as he was the finance director for, I believe, 30 years. Lauterbach and Amon was the accounting firm who did the audits for 14 years in a row and just stopped 2 years ago. One of the major hurdles that we face here in the very, very near future is the annual audit of the village. And I don't think there's anyone better to be able to lead us through that audit process and make sure that all those things are in place that need to be in place, collect all the information and data that needs to be presented to make our audit go smoothly than the audit firm who did it for us for 14 years. The next thing we have is the food and beverage tax. It's going to be taking place in September. No one in the organization has any experience in implementing a food and beverage tax. Lauterbach and Amon and their partners have extensive experience in the municipal government and municipal finance. And maybe, Ron, if you wouldn't mind, maybe give a little bit of your background and where you are involved and the services that you provide to other communities.
Okay. 21 years ago, we started our firm. We went under the principle of trying to make it very niched and unique into the government world in the state of Illinois. We're 21 years later, we're still that same firm of completely niched into government. 95% of our revenues are local government. We have 3 sides to our practice. One is servicing pension funds, police and fire, and that's about 1/3 of what we do. Another 1/3 of what we do is auditing. Like we said earlier, 14 years in a row I was, and when I walked in the building today, when I started, you guys were over there. 14 years in a row we worked with the village. I came here, presented the audit, worked with Larry all those years, and then another 1/3 of our practice is what we call consulting. And when we say consulting in the audit and the government and the accounting world, we just mean everything that doesn't fall into one of the other 2 buckets. So we do a lot of work in the government arena. We have a lot of municipalities that have branched into outsourcing of some version of their finance. I tell people the Village of Glenview is our biggest one. We have 7 people that are employed by Lauterbach and Amon that spend every day at the Village of Glenview. And they do everything from anything that happens within the finance department. Our staff does that. We work with the village of Wakanda, we work with the village of Grays Lake, we work with the village of Cary. There's about 80 units of government that fall into this consulting type world, from municipalities down to dispatch centers, to park districts, to libraries, et cetera. So we have a lot of people in our firm that are out there doing this stuff every day. So when we talk to Mark and to Keith and then to Larry about the ideas of the food and beverage taxes, I'm not the expert, but I just pick up the phone and call other Lauterbach and Amen employees who are working in a municipality that have, any ideas of things that happen in the government world. So we have about 130 people, and we have 5 partners in our firm, so.
You got any, a past employee now works in the for doing the finance for Hawthorne Woods?
We do not,
I thought you had somebody, not you, I thought somebody left you and went there.
that is correct. Someone, Kristen worked for Lauterbach and
Right.
Amen, and one of her projects was at Hawthorne Woods, and then they hired her away from us
Yeah,
several years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
But we still have a very close relationship with Kristen, so,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any questions from the board? No? Okay.
Mayor, you may just want to note for everyone here that one of the partners, one of the 5 partners has been assigned to the task of overseeing
Right,
this
I
account,
saw that.
principally responsible for it. Unfortunately, his wife underwent surgery today, and so he could not be here this evening. Otherwise, he would have been here for a meet and greet.
Right.
And that's Nathan Gaskill?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. All right, but we're not taking any action on this till the next meeting, or?
No, you're taking action tonight. on
That's
it.
what I thought, okay, we'll say, all right, well, this is the first motion is for ordinance 2018-105, correct?
That is correct.
Ordinance approving a contract between Lauterbach and Amen LLP, and the Village of Vernon Hills for accounting and financial oversight. Is there a motion to approve?
So made. Second.
Motion is second, roll call, please.
Trustees Schultz,
Aye.
Marport,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Oppenheim,
Aye.
Takaoka,
Aye.
Hebda.
Aye.
Motion carries. Pass that one down. Okay, next one is ordinance 2018-105, ordinance approving a contract between Lauterbach and Amen. Oh, is it the same damn thing? Oh, okay. Oh, great, all right, well, I'll sign that.
We could have really long meetings giving them extra copies of each.
Yeah, Jesus, that's kind of trickery. Okay, anything else on this, is that it, right, on
That's
this
it.
agenda?
Adjourn.
We're good.
Okay.
We have a closed session, you said?
There's really
Yeah.
a need for a closed session. It was put on the agenda tonight in case anybody wanted to have a more in-depth discussion with Lauterbach and Amen about the goods and services.
Well, what I had talked to the chief about earlier is, do we want to discuss at all the corporation counsel hiring practice? I've contacted 3 out of the 4. I know Craig has somebody from Howard and Howard. My question is, do you want to put out a full-blown RFP still? Or could we start talking to these people? All 4 of them live in town. Obviously, Larry LaLuzerne, one is Hal Morris, we got Jim Ferrola, and then I think it's Michael Lee from Howard and Howard. So I just want to talk, because you haven't finished it, have you?
No,
The RFP.
it'll be done this week and ready to go out.
But
to be
my
approved.
question is, do you want to go to that extent?
An RFP or just
Or just
start
bring
to
up
review
Or
those
bring
four?
in, is it 4 or?
4, unless somebody's got a 5th. But, I'm just asking that question, just, if we want to, can we talk about that in there? In
We
closed
can.
session?
We can.
Yeah, I don't, it's up to you guys. If you want to,
Do we, what's the?
you want to, well, you want to do
downside
this?
of- What's the downside of doing it as an RFP versus just,
Well, do you want to bring in, 15 different law firms?
We need to pre-qualify a series of them first.
Exactly. And as we speak, we got pretty much one.
If you go through an RFP process, the way it's being drawn up, you're going to get
Right.
experience on certain types of matters. That can allow you then to sort of go through and call, much like you do in any other hiring process for a finance director or a village manager or what have you. And then you could bring that down and say, all right, we want to look at the top 5, or we want to look at the top 7, or what have you.
Well, you know,
My guess is you'll probably end up with 20.
it is, we speak tonight, everybody wants to think about this, we got a meeting next week again. And we, you know, if you want to do the RFP, he'll have something done, and then we can go through the process. But,
Can I ask what your opinion is?
You can do it either way. You know, typically, certainly an RFP provides some more buffering to the board, raises less opportunity for questions by other people.
Right.
But certainly, the breadth of experience that the people that the mayor was mentioning certainly gives a wide range. It's not like we're pulling in, talking to somebody's nephew or something like that. I mean, these are all people that with, you know, Ferolo's been with Kleinthorpe and Jenkins for many, many years. They've been one of the stalwart law firms in the municipal arena for many, many years. And there are probably, I would say, somewhere between a half a dozen and a dozen firms that are really known as the strength in the municipal area.
And 3 out of the 4, and I don't know about the one that you were mentioning, Craig, but the other 3, the other 3, those individuals are already engaged in village business, either on commissions or doing certain things within the overall scope of the community.
well, what I liked in particular was the fact that all of them live in town.
Yeah.
And we haven't had that since Bernie Citron was here. And I think, you know, it was kind of a good thing.
I think it would be helpful, at least even for those people, to fill out the RFP process so that you get a better gauge of exactly what their experience is. I know at least one of the individuals, while he may have been involved in prosecution of traffic offenses and things like that quite extensively, I'm not real sure about the breadth of the experience in terms of day-to-day corporate counsel type work, dealing with zoning issues, dealing with, you know, the wide variety of things that you folks are dealing with right now.
To me, it makes more sense to go through the process. I'm not the one who's going to be spending as much time though, so.
No, but it would give us a much broader perspective.
Yeah, well,
and
plus
better
you're going to
information.
get responses from people, and then we decide, are we bringing them in?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you get the response, you're not obligated to bring them in, but certainly it gives you a better idea of the world of what's out there.
Okay, RFP, man, get it done.
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, Eddie, well, we can adjourn the meeting, we're not coming back out, and do we have to go into closed session then? Okay, is there a motion to
So made.
adjourn the village board meeting?
Go ahead, say it again.
Who's the
So
second?
made.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Trustees Markwart.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Oppenheim.
Aye.
Takaoka.
Aye.
Hebda.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Motion carries. Stordo, are you up there?
Yes.
Can you shut the mics off? Is it off?
No.
Is it off?